We're going to be out of 1 Samuel chapter 20 is where we got up to. I kind of led you into chapter 20 just a little bit, just to kind of reconfirm again the relationship between Jonathan and David last week. We also hit very, very strongly. There you go. Hello. Good. The relationship there with Saul, David, and also, obviously, with the children. With the children here. First, we had Jonathan, with Jonathan and David meet for the first time. Well, I shouldn't say for the first time, but when they meet, and really David expresses his faith and his belief in God and the victories that God is going to give him and already has given, and just who God is. And the armies of God and just the strength, the power, the belief, the faith that David had. Immediately it says that the soul of Jonathan was knit to the soul of David. And kind of went over that again, guys. Literally what we call that now is we call that church. Is what that's called. Two people of like faith, and they come together, man, God's words are pronounced. It's the way that it is. And then those souls become interconnected or knitted together, right? So, for us, we've always talked about that, right? Like, we want to bring people, we want people to hear, we want them to hear the gospel. But if they confess Christ, they have to be knitted in, right? Now, some of that is working purely in that. A portion of it is purely in the working of the Holy Spirit. Yeah? Without the Holy Spirit, without the Holy Spirit, none of that takes place. Yes, it's impossible for it to take place. Yes? And yet at the same time, if there's no pronouncing of the words of God, then how can it take place? Because how does the Spirit even work? So understand, if David went in there and said, hey man, this is the reality, this is the way it is, would that connection of with those souls being knit together, tied together, would that have ever taken place? Do you understand what I'm saying? So it took the labor, same labor that we've been given to do, right? Proclaim. That's what David did. And this is God's arm. This is the way that it is. Man, God's given us this victory. He's going to give us more victories. Nothing can stand against the armies of God. God's too big. God's too good. God loves us. He's for us. We're going to win. Yeah? So the faith that David had, is what knit together that they were Jonathan. Okay? So we also had Michelle, who is the daughter of Saul and that loved David. Okay? We had the first daughter, and what we've seen was Saul over and over and over his attempts to kill David. Multiple times throws a spear at him, trying to kill him while he's playing the harp to try to calm Saul in the first place and bring peace to Saul. Tries to kill him that way. Ends up devising this plan that if David goes out to war and wins this battle, that he would give David his oldest daughter. But meanwhile, while David's gone, fighting the battle, Saul goes in and gives the daughter to another person and marries her off. So David comes back victorious, and she's already married off. Michelle, the younger daughter, loved David. When Saul finds out about that, he decides he's going to try to manipulate that situation and use that to trap David and kill him. So multiple times we've seen the same scenario from Saul, right? Deceivingly, just trying to work different things. And if you remember with the young one, the whole entire thing with the Philistines and the foreskin thing was that Saul told him, if you go get 100 foreskins, then you can have my daughter Michelle. And his mindset says that what he reasoned is that the Philistines ain't going to give that up, right? No man would willingly, which means that David's going to have to kill 100. And if he tries to kill 100, he's going to die. He's going to get killed himself. Right? And so he's trying to get David killed, and then that way he says, well, that way I don't have to take the blame. Right? You know what happens? David goes out and by night. So it was around midday or so when he gets this instruction. By nightfall, he killed 200 and had 200 foreskins and turns them back into Saul. Here you go. I'm ready to get married. And so him and Michelle do get married. She loves him. He loves her. Everything that we have, a little bit, there's not a whole lot of text on it, but everything that we have right there just expresses that both of them love each other. Okay? David is a commander, and so his job is to fight and is to go to war. And anything that Saul told him to go do, his job is to go do it. If you realize, though, too, that outside of when Saul has called for him to come to him, and David knew that he was going to try to kill him, outside of that, everything else, David obeyed. So when he told David to go fight a battle, David did it. You understand what I mean? It's pretty amazing to me to know that somebody's out to get you and try to kill you, and yet you still see that it's God's the one who called them to be the king, and so you obey. Yeah? Pretty amazing, the faith again there, David. So guys, coming down, again, Saul tries all these different ways to kill him, including this here with his own wife, which would be Saul's daughter. Michelle finds out about it, tells David about it, helps David escape. And so David ends up going back to Jonathan. He ends up running off actually to Samuel, tells Samuel all what's going on. Saul sends multiple people to try, or multiple sets of killers to go kill David. And every time they showed up, Samuel would be preaching. They'd get saved. They'd start proclaiming the same truth, right? And Saul all of a sudden be like, well, where are they at? And people would tell him, well, they're saved down there, proclaiming Jesus, proclaiming the promise. And so Saul would send another group. That happens 3 times. And so finally Saul goes, fine, I'll go do it myself. He goes down there, and he himself, all of a sudden, the Holy Spirit comes upon him, and he can't do nothing else. And he starts proclaiming the promises, and he himself rips his clothes off, falls in the dirt, and lays there naked day and night. And I think that there is a big symbolicness of that, okay? That through the Holy Spirit, that nothing that was in Saul was hidden from God. And it really wasn't hidden from anybody else. It was really quite evident, Saul's heart and where he was at, okay? So that's what brings us up to chapter 20, all right? And now I'm going to pause. So now we have all in review. Yes? Everybody's good on review? Now I'll pause real quick before we do jump into the actual class, all right? So a complete different note. Rudy, is that on back there?
Yeah.
Maybe just pause it for a second if that's okay. Hope I don't bother if anybody is on there. And I hope it doesn't mess up the feed altogether. What does it, Rudy?
What's that?
Does it mess up the feed altogether?
Yeah, I have stopped it.
Oh shoot, I'm sorry.
You're good. I already did.
Guys, please be in